The Bears just got linked to one of the biggest running back names on the market, and it's already dividing the fanbase. Because if this rumor is true, it could mean one shocking move is on the table, cutting DeAndre Swift. And the wild part is, I'm not even sure Travis Etienne would be an upgrade. If you're fired up for real Bears talk, hit like, subscribe, and share this with another Bears fan right now. Alright, Bears fans, happy Sunday, and I hope you're staying safe wherever you are, because it's been one of those weekends where the weather is trying to win MVP. But while everybody else is dealing with snow, wind, and chaos, Chicago Bears rumors don't take days off, and today we've got some stuff that's going to get people arguing in the comments fast. We've got a rumor floating around that the Bears could be targeting Travis Etienne in free agency. And if that happens, it opens up the biggest question of all. Are the Bears really about to mess with the running back room when there are bigger problems on this roster? Because this isn't just add another playmaker talk. This rumor comes with a very specific implication. If the Bears want Etienne, they could create the money by moving on from DeAndre Swift. And Bears fans, that's where things get spicy. So here's where this report is coming from. NFL reporter Tony Pauline is the one putting it out there. And I'm going to be fair here. He's been around the league a long time, he's covered the NFL for years, and once you get to late January it becomes rumor season whether we like it or not. But at the same time, his track record isn't perfect. Let's just say that. And you need to treat these types of reports with the right amount of caution. Still, the rumor is interesting enough that it's worth breaking down, because it connects two major things. First, the idea that the Bears could be serious suitors for Travis Etienne if he reaches free agency. Second, the idea that Chicago could make room for it by cutting DeAndre Swift. And yes, financially, the Bears actually could do it. Swift's cap hit next season is $8 million. If Chicago cut him, they'd save about $5 million, and only take around $3 million in dead cap. That's not a massive penalty at all. It's one of those deals where, purely from a cap flexibility standpoint, you can do it without destroying your books. But here's my problem. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Because when you look at what Swift gave this offense, what he produced, and how efficient he was, I don't understand why Bears fans are acting like he's some disposable piece. Let's talk reality. DeAndre Swift rushed for over 1,000 yards this season. And at his cap number, that's not some insane contract in today's NFL. For a starting running back who can carry the ball, make plays, and keep a defense honest, $8 million is not outrageous. Now, does that mean the Bears should never upgrade at running back? No. This is the NFL. If you can improve the roster, you always explore it. But you've got to ask the most important question in the entire conversation. Is Travis Etienne actually a clear upgrade over DeAndre Swift? Because if he's not, then what are we doing here? Pauline's report says that league insiders have believed the Bears will go after Etienne if he hits free agency, even though Chicago already has a solid 1-2 punch with Swift and Kyle Manengai. And then the report goes a step further and claims that some people see it as an even swap. But that Etienne might be a better fit because he's a better pass-catching threat. Now, I'm not saying Etienne can't catch. He absolutely can. But better pass-catching threat can mean a lot of things. Are we talking about a massive difference? Or are we talking about a slight edge that sounds nice in a rumor report? Because when you put their actual production next to each other, it's not as clear as people are making it. Let's go to the numbers. Travis Etienne this season, he had 260 carries, 1,117 rushing yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 3 yards per carry. As a receiver, he caught 36 passes for 292 yards, that's 1 yards per catch, and he had 6 receiving touchdowns. So yes, big year. Over 1,400 total yards, and 13 total touchdowns. That's a strong season, no question. Now compare that to DeAndre Swift this season. He had 223 carries, 1,087 rushing yards, and 9 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 9 yards per carry. He had 34 catches for 299 yards, which is 8 yards per catch, and 1 receiving touchdown. So let's be honest about what this is saying. Swift was more efficient running the football. Swift was more efficient as a receiver in terms of yards per catch. Etienne had more receiving touchdowns, Swift had more rushing touchdowns. And if we're just judging the actual, how well did you play football snap to snap part, Swift looks better in the efficiency categories. So where's the clear upgrade? If the answer is Touchdowns? Okay, Etienne had 6 receiving touchdowns. But touchdowns can swing year to year. Situation matters. Scheme matters. Red zone usage matters. The bigger picture is that you're talking about 2 running backs who produced at a similar level, and in some categories, Swift outperformed him. Now let's talk about the argument people love to make next. Okay, but what about age? What about mileage? Cool. Let's do it. Swift has been in the league longer. Etienne has fewer NFL seasons on his body. DeAndre Swift just turned 27 years old on January 14th. Now quick question, how old do you think Travis Etienne is? He turns 27 years old on January 26th. That's basically the same age. So the Etienne is younger angle. It doesn't exist. The mileage argument is the only real difference you can point to. Etienne has fewer total NFL seasons, and that matters. Less wear and tear is always a factor at running back. But even then, when you dig deeper, it's not some gigantic gap where one guy is fresh and the other guy is falling apart. Etienne has 897 career carries. Swift has 969 career carries. Etienne has 168 career catches. Swift has 271 career catches. So yes, Swift has more total touches. That's true. That's real. But it's not so extreme that you should panic and rush into cutting him like he's about to hit a wall tomorrow. And this is where the rumor really starts to fall apart for me. If the Bears cut Swift, they save about $7.5 million. But if they sign Etienne, what do you think that contract is going to be? You're not signing Travis Etienne for some bargain deal. Not after a season like that. He's going to want real money, and someone is going to pay him. If you're being realistic, it could land somewhere around $8 to $12 million per year, even if it's only a 2-year contract. So now you've cut a back who already knows your offense, already produced, already fit your system, just to turn around and pay another guy basically the same amount, maybe more. So what's the win? You're not saving money. You're not massively upgrading production. And you're committing multi-year money to a running back at the exact same age. That doesn't feel like a smart plan. And look, I'm not saying Etienne isn't good. He is good. But if you're going to make a move like that, it better be an obvious, undeniable improvement. It better be the kind of move where Bears fans look at it and go, okay, yeah, that changes everything. This doesn't feel like that. In fact, when you look at career averages, it gets even more difficult to justify. Etienne's career yards per carry 4.2. Swift's career yards per carry 4.6. So across their entire careers, Swift has actually been the more efficient runner. That's not an opinion. That's just the math. So when someone tells me the Bears should cut Swift and sign Etienne, I'm thinking, why are we spending energy on this when the Bears have bigger fires to put out? Because if you're Chicago, your offseason checklist isn't swap running backs. You've got real needs. You need help on the defensive line. You need help at linebacker. You need help in the secondary. You need to get the offensive line right, including left tackle concerns. Those are the areas that change your season. Those are the moves that take you from being interesting to being dangerous. And that's why this rumor is a non-starter to me, unless the contract is crazy cheap. If someone told me Etienne was willing to take something like 2 years for $8 million total, okay, sure. That's different. That's the type of deal where you can justify it as a value signing. But that's not real life. Etienne is going to get paid. And if you're going to pay a running back, you better be sure it's a major difference-maker move. Question of the day, would you rather keep DeAndre Swift, or cut him and sign Travis Etienne, and why? Drop your answer in the comments right now because I already know Bears fans are split on this. Now, we're not done, because there's another storyline going on that connects to the Bears, and it involves the Packers. Green Bay just hired a new defensive coordinator, and it's not Al Harris. And that matters because Al Harris has been on the radar for multiple teams, and Bears fans have been watching that situation closely. The Packers ended up hiring Jonathan Gannon as their defensive coordinator. And I'll be honest, when I first saw the buzz around other names like Jim Leonard, I thought Green Bay might go in a different direction. Gannon has experience. He's a proven defensive coordinator, and he was the Eagles' DC when they made that Super Bowl run in 2022. Then he got the Cardinals' head coaching job, and this season, things went sideways. Badly. It completely fell apart, and Arizona moved on fast. So Green Bay replaces Jeff Hafley with Jonathan Gannon. And how do I feel about it? It feels like a lateral move. Not some massive downgrade, But also not a move that has me sitting here terrified like the Packers just found the next genius defensive mastermind. It's fine. It's solid. It's experienced. But compared to someone like Jim Leonhard, who a lot of people believe has serious upside as a defensive mind, this feels like the safe choice. And I know some people will get conspiratorial and say, did Matt LaFleur hire someone who won't threaten his job? I don't really buy that. But I understand why some fans think that way. Because if Green Bay struggles, nobody is firing LaFleur and promoting Gannon to head coach. That just isn't happening. Either way, the bigger picture is this. I'm personally more concerned about facing Brian Flores in Minnesota than I am about facing Jonathan Gannon in Green Bay. Now let's bring it back to Al Harris, because this situation is still moving and Bears fans need to know where it stands. Al Harris interviewed with the Packers. The Commanders requested an interview, and that should be happening either already or very soon. The Titans interviewed him as well. And that Tennessee situation is interesting. Because the Titans' job doesn't feel super appealing if you're Al Harris, for one big reason. Robert Saleh has said he's going to call plays. So even if Tennessee gives you the defensive coordinator title, if you're not calling plays, how much does that really help your career? Unless they double his salary, I don't really see why you leave a good spot for a non-play calling role, especially when there might be better options. Now Washington is the one that makes you pause. Because Al Harris has history with Dan Quinn from Dallas, and relationships matter in this league. That connection alone means Washington is absolutely in the mix. But there's another team I can't stop thinking about here. Pittsburgh. To me, Pittsburgh is the team to watch for Al Harris, because there's a relationship there too. Mike McCarthy was the head coach in Dallas during the years Al Harris was on that staff. So the familiarity is there. The trust is there. And if Pittsburgh offers him a role where he's calling plays, that's a serious career move. It's a storied franchise, they have talented and expensive players on defense, and if he gets that unit rolling, you're talking about a guy who could end up on the fast track to becoming a head coach. So if you're Al Harris, you've got to be thinking, do I want Tennessee with no play calling, or Pittsburgh where I can run the defense and build my reputation? That's not a hard choice if Pittsburgh is truly interested. So yes, Bears fans. Washington is a threat. Pittsburgh is a threat. Tennessee feels less dangerous unless the money is ridiculous. And that's the latest on that situation. So to recap everything today, the Travis Etienne rumor is interesting, but it doesn't make much sense when you compare him to DeAndre Swift. Swift was efficient, productive, and costs a reasonable amount for next year. And the Packers hiring Jonathan Gannon means Al Harris is still very much in play for other teams, and Pittsburgh might be the one to watch the closest. Now I'll end with this. This is the time of year where rumors fly, names get linked, and people start forcing moves just to feel like something is happening. But the Bears have to stay smart. Don't create a new problem trying to fix something that isn't broken. Because if Chicago wants to take the next step, it won't be because they swapped one talented running back for another. It'll be because they built the trenches, fixed the defense, and finally gave this roster the support it's been missing. So let me know what you think about all of it, especially that Swift versus Etienne debate. And no matter what happens next, bear down.